All right, welcome back. We are diving into Jean Banjour's Realities of Life, and today we're hitting key 6 out of 10, Practice Discomfort. I know, it sounds completely backward, right? Why on earth would anyone choose to be uncomfortable? It goes against pretty much every instinct we have. But stick with me, because what we're about to explore might just be the secret to real, lasting freedom.
So let's just start with this big, kind of provocative question. What if our entire search for comfort, for an easy life, what if it's all pointing in the wrong direction? What if the actual secret to a good, strong, meaningful life is to be less comfortable? It's a challenging idea, for sure. So let's really break it down.
And this leads us to something called the comfort paradox. It's a simple but honestly a profound idea. When we have endless comfort, it doesn't just keep adding to our happiness. At some point, it actually flips and becomes a source of pain. When we give in to every little pleasure and dodge every tiny inconvenience, we don't get stronger. We actually get weaker, and we lose our freedom. We become slaves to our own desires.
To really get this, we've got to look back. I mean, way back. For almost all of human history, life was tough. Our ancestors were walking for miles, hunting for hours. They were enduring extreme heat, cold, hunger. Their lives were just filled with constant physical struggle. Now compare that to today. With just a few taps on a screen, we can have food show up at our door, endless entertainment, and the perfect room temperature all the time.
And here is the absolute core of the problem. Our bodies, our biology, our brains, they were all forged in that ancient world of struggle. We are physically and mentally wired to overcome challenges. But while our world has changed at lightning speed, our biology hasn't caught up. It's like we're running ancient hardware built for a tough environment in a world of super soft, easy software. There's a mismatch.
Now this is not some new age wellness trend. Not at all. This is a timeless piece of wisdom that ancient philosophers totally understood. They knew that true strength wasn't found by avoiding difficulty, but by looking it straight in the eye.
I mean, take the Greek philosopher Diogenes. This guy took practicing discomfort to a whole other level. He'd roll around in hot sand in the summer, he'd walk barefoot in the snow, he literally lived in a barrel, stripping his life down to nothing but the essentials. Now, why would he do that? It wasn't about punishing himself, it was a form of liberation. He was training himself to find joy in his own character, his own resilience, not in some fleeting comfort that could be taken away. And there was another philosopher, Dio Chrysostom, who gave this powerful warning that feels like it could have been written yesterday. He argued that a life of non-stop luxury and ease doesn't build us up. It actually makes us fragile. It weakens us. Because when everything is easy, the smallest, most manageable problems start to feel like these huge, insurmountable mountains.
Okay, so we've heard the philosophy. Now let's jump forward a couple thousand years and look at this from a modern perspective. What is actually going on inside our brains when we're drowning in comfort? Well, the science here is fascinating, and it completely backs up what those ancient thinkers were saying.
So it all comes down to this one little neurotransmitter you've definitely heard of, dopamine. People call it the pleasure molecule, but it's really more about motivation and reward. And here's the crucial thing you need to know. Your brain is always trying to keep your dopamine levels in balance. It's a state called homeostasis. It doesn't want you to be super high or super low for too long. It just wants to be level.
Now here's the issue with modern life, that constant stream of stimulation, from our phones, from sugary food, from endless online shopping, from binge-watching shows. It just floods our brain with these massive, unnatural spikes of dopamine. And to get back to that level playing field, your brain fights back. It pushes down on the other side of the scale, creating an equal and opposite feeling of discomfort, of restlessness, of craving, just to get back to neutral.
And this is what creates this really vicious cycle. That first hit of pleasure, well, eventually it just starts to feel kind of numb. You need more and more of it just to feel normal. And then that numbness turns into this constant nagging craving for the next hit. And then finally, that state of always craving becomes a source of real distress and anxiety. The very thing that used to bring you pleasure is now the source of your misery.
Okay, I know that sounds a little bleak, but we are not helpless here. The best news is that we can actively reverse this whole cycle. So let's talk about the solution, a real, practical plan to retrain your brain.
The remedy is as simple as it is powerful. It's voluntary discomfort. See, instead of waiting for life to smack us with hardship when we're not ready, we choose it, on our own terms. We intentionally and regularly introduce these small, manageable doses of discomfort into our lives, and that's how we retrain our brain and reset that whole pleasure-pain balance.
So, what does this actually look like in real life? Well, it could be anything that pushes you just a little bit out of that comfort zone. Things like taking a cold shower, doing a 24-hour fast from your phone, going for a really long walk when you'd rather be on the couch, having that difficult conversation you've been avoiding, tackling a new skill that really stretches your mind, or even just decluttering your life through minimalism.
And here is the key takeaway, the whole point. Every single time you choose one of these small, temporary discomforts, you are building permanent resilience. This isn't some new idea. The Stoics did this, Buddhist monks practice it. You're building the mental and physical fortitude to handle whatever life decides to throw at you.
And let's be really clear about this. In a world that is screaming at us 24/7 that comfort and convenience are the ultimate goals, actively choosing discomfort is a radical act. It's an act of courage. You're basically training for life's difficulties before they even show up, making yourself stronger and more adaptable.
And the benefits? They're absolutely transformative. When you do this, you grow stronger than your immediate impulses. You get clearer, you can rise above the noise of your cravings, and ultimately, by proving to yourself again and again that you can do hard things, you become capable of chasing a life of real, deep meaning, not just one of cheap, fleeting pleasure.
So, I want to leave you with a direct challenge. Don't just let this be some interesting idea you heard. I want you to actually put it into action. Look at your life right now and ask yourself, what is one small, manageable discomfort you will voluntarily choose to practice this week?
Just pick one thing: a cold shower, a digital fast, that tough conversation. Whatever it is, don't wait for the perfect moment. Just begin.